Morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is growth and chaos. That growth doesn't happen in easy progression without disruption. So it should be an interesting conversation. But before we get started, let's take a minute or two to get present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale, exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, your molecules, your electrons, creating a brilliant beam of light and energy from your heart out into the world. And as you exhale, exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's press our palms together, vigorously rub your hands together to feel the friction, the temperature, the pressure, the motion, the tickling and tingling as you stop, and allow all those sensations to bring you present right here, right now, into this remarkable physical form that enables us to experience life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning, Rosalind. So good to have you here with us this morning. And we have two guests with us today. These little birdies that I found and rescued, and they are just starting to fly, which might disrupt our morning because they're being exploratory. Talk about chaos, right? So, good morning, Shosha. She says, this is a perfect expression of my current day, growth and chaos. Yes, I totally relate. And I was going to originally call today's segment progress and chaos, but I thought growth was better. And this is a reflection of the process that I am going through to be packing up all my life's possessions to move. And what I'm noticing is, oh, good morning, Donna. Welcome. So good to have you here with us this morning. So, what I've noticed in all this packing is that in the process of creating this new order of putting everything together in a particular way, that everything is everywhere in the process. So it's very chaotic in the moment. I don't know if there is an orderly way to pack, just like I don't know if there's an orderly way to do deep cleaning, for example, because you have to take everything apart in order to be able to get to the corners and the crannies. And this is what it is like with growth, is that we need to dissemble the things that are in place that need to give way to the new. So it can feel really chaotic. It can feel really disruptive and disorienting to be in a process of change and growth because things are unfamiliar. And in their unfamiliarity, they can be daunting, they can be frightening because we don't know what to expect, because growth means stepping into something new, and that has its own perils so to speak, where something is unfamiliar. It's unfamiliar, so we don't know how to deal with it. We don't necessarily know what to expect. We need to adapt and um, shift, change, find new balance. And the thing about balance, and this is such an important thing for all of us to remember as we go through life changes and our own evolution, the thing about balance is that it isn't static. Balance is always self-correcting, right? It's not staying still. It's adjusting and correcting and accommodating. And when we're in the midst of growth, the more we can embrace the unfamiliar, the more we can embrace the chaos and allow for that disruption, the more gracefully we will be able to move into whatever that change is. So rather than allowing ourselves to get stressed, although change can be very stressful, even good change, um, what we want to do is to find a way to bring ourselves back to presence and to just allow for that transformation, that disruption. I mean, even if you think about a bird hatching, there's massive disruption, right? They're literally having to break the shell to come out into the new world. And if you think about a plant sprouting, it's actually pushing up through the ground and breaking the surface of the ground to come out through. So there's this disruption and chaos of some sort. And I'm wondering if it's helpful. I think it might be helpful to rename chaos as disruption, maybe, or emergence, even. Chaos has sort of a negative connotation. And I know that things can easily feel chaotic. Uh, However, I mean, I'm recognizing this in my environment, right, with everything everywhere. Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry. I just noticed Donna's good morning again, and it looked new. So by allowing ourselves to be present, to just sit with it, to be finding our breath, to be finding our center in the midst of chaos, it can be challenging, particularly if it's inside that we feel chaotic. Truly putting our attention on the breath, putting our attention sometimes on sensation. Like if you can just maybe rub your fingertips together, even to feel the sensation in your fingertips, that can bring you present if you can put your attention there. And observe, because so much of the chaos and the overwhelm originates in our internal conversation. So, for instance, conversation like there's so much to do, or I feel confused, even. I remember being in a Tony Robbins training, an intensive, and one of the things that he said regularly is, if you're confused, it means you're about to learn something. So the confusion is the chaos, the dissolving of the structures that have been holding things in place. And what needs to happen for new structures to emerge is that the old needs to dissolve. It needs to come apart. So rather than fearing that chaos or having anxiety about it, perhaps we can cultivate some anticipation, some enthusiasm, some excitement about what that uprooting is bringing and what might be emerging from that. And to give ourselves grace in going through the process. We don't have to resist it. So the resistance is the source of our anxiety and our fear, is resisting the change rather than moving with it like water. So if we can allow ourselves to flow with change, then the whole process has a lot more elegance to it, a lot more grace, and we can be more present to the appreciation for it. So if you can imagine the butterfly coming out of the cocoon and the wings unfolding in a new experience of life, that it could be a very uncomfortable process coming out of that cocoon and unfurling those wings. But then it's all new. It's all new. And so if we can allow ourselves to be in that newness, this little guy has a foot that is curled up, so he's not able to get as good a perch as he might like. So these, I'm going to talk a little bit about the chaos of these guys learning to fly. They just started yesterday, kind of flying, and now they're into exploring. Obviously, if they can fly, there's a whole new world, and there's a lot more now for me to manage as they're, ugh, he's pooping, as they're evolving. So maybe we can redefine this notion of chaos and disruption as emergence and a process of emergence, that we might be able to gain a little bit of a different perspective on it as rather miraculous, as part of process, and being able to relish the process as its own beautiful mess. I think that we can see ourselves in so many times in our lives as a beautiful mess. And I think the tendency is to want everything to be neat and orderly and predictable. And the truth is, if that's what our lives were, we'd be bored out of our minds, right? So by allowing ourselves to know that growth is messy and can feel chaotic, we can invite ourselves into whatever stillness that we can muster within ourselves. And it's available. It's always available. Even in times when our minds are racing, just the simple thing of concentrating on the breath can make such a difference. So Shosha, you said you're feeling like today the growth and chaos is a perfect expression. I'm going to invite you to say more about that and what would support you in facing that chaos. When we're looking at progress, I don't know if you've ever noticed that things sometimes feel like they're going very, very slowly. And the saying, make haste slowly, comes to mind, where bit by bit, things are being done, things are being done, things are being done. Looks like disarray, looks like chaos. And then there's a point at which there's a turning point and order starts to emerge. And it's a new order. It's a new arrangement, whether it's of our emotions, our beliefs, our thoughts, our environment, that things need to come apart before they can be put together anew. And I think we're seeing a lot of that coming apart in our culture. And in that coming apart, we're having the opportunity to reimagine what we desire and what we value and where we want to put our energies. So there's an invitation that we can all embrace to step gently into uncertainty, into the unfamiliar, and allow ourselves the grace also emotionally in that process, because there will be waves of emotion that we can allow ourselves to process without becoming at the effect of them. So there may be moments of fear, there may be moments of overwhelm, there may be moments of anxiety, but we can allow ourselves to just feel that feeling in the moment, allow it to pass without adding all kinds of story to it, without adding all kinds of resistance. And then we can flow more readily with circumstance. So Shosha says, currently preparing to move again at the end of school year. And I moved in a rush, so stuffed everything in boxes. So I'm in a similar state of changement of mind, matter, and beliefs. I love that word, changement. That's great. And I can so relate to you around the moving thing. And I think when we move, there's an opportunity also to recreate ourselves, because we're creating an upheaval, an upending. We're going to a new place. And as artificial as it may be superficially, a new place really is a new beginning. So we can recreate ourselves in the process. It's a lot. What I notice is that there are things that I'm keeping and looking forward to bringing into the new environment for some sense of continuity, but we can be selective about those things that we choose to bring with us, so we can use it as an opportunity to release a lot of baggage emotionally, energetically, actually physically too. We can choose not to bring certain things along with us, and we can bring the things we love, and we can leave the things that we no longer cherish or that we no longer need. So I think moving is a wonderful transition opportunity, because it's in a way it's arbitrary, but also in a lot of ways it's not. We're in a new space, and the new space has new energy to it, and it gives us another opportunity for a fresh start in a big way, actually. So I wish you good luck with it and ease with it, Shosha, and transformation at the same time. To not get in a panic, to not get in a frenzy, to be systematic, to do the moving and the packing and the transformation with love and care and attention and presence. That's making such a difference for me. So Shosha says, going through my son's early childhood items and suitcases of unblossomed dreams and unread books is definitely a fulcrum of cleansing. Oh boy, Shosha, I can so relate. I went through 4 boxes of memorabilia with hundreds of letters and photographs and memories from throughout my entire life, like even back to first grade report cards. It was a very, very deeply emotional journey. So I can have such sympathy, empathy for what you're going through. It's a big reckoning. But I think that because I did that so thoroughly, I'm so much better able now to be present in the dismantling of what has been my home for 24 years. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, and I'm very grateful that I took that time initially to be able to give the care and consideration, to feel the feelings, to reckon with, I guess, the past, my history, all of that goodness. So I wish that for you, that you have the time and grace to be able to do that in a way that feels complete for you. And for all of us going through periods of growth and change and transformation, I think it's important to be as present as we can. Shosha says, you sharing your experience has been an enormous gift and help. Eternally grateful. Thank you. I'm so glad to hear that, Shosha. you know, it's it's a rich experience. You know, it can be. I remember I moved a lot in my life, and it was always really traumatic. And this time I have a commitment to have it be as graceful as possible, you know, to have it be a transition, transformation that is welcoming into a new phase of life. And I think that if we bring intention to the growth and change, even to the chaos that is part of it, that it will serve us in an even more robust way in our lives. So that's it for today. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I go live here each weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page and YouTube channel. And I invite you to please like, follow, and share Enlightened World Network and me. The links are in the description. And as always, it's such a privilege and pleasure to have the opportunity to share these morning musings with you on what it is to be human. So until next time, so much love to you.